Hey students, I hope you're doing well. This week you are going to be doing your first outline for your problem and solution paper. And again, just to recap, this is your paper that is about a problem that you're going to find within your field of expertise. And then you are going to also find a solution to solve that problem. Please review each section. You need to write in complete thoughts so I can see if you're headed on the right track. And please use complete sentences in the places where it asks for. Read the directions for specific parts and always ask questions if you need clarity. For the introduction, please write in complete sentences for A through C. Keep in mind that your thesis may be two sentences since you're addressing a problem and a solution. I'm looking for your hook, your attention getter, some background information, and your thesis statement. And guys, what I want you to note on each section that I have here, it literally gives you some ideas that you can consider. Historical background of the problem and its development. Most of the problems we will be researching did not occur overnight. There will be a history of events that led to the current situation. When and how did it start? Who is suffering? How many? And again, you don't have to answer all of these questions, but it gives you some really good perspective of what you can use for background information. And then you're going to go into the first half of the essay, which is going to be the problem component. So, causes of the problem. These can be bullet points. I don't expect them to be complete sentences, but I want to see that you're gathering ideas and information. So I want you to discuss the contributing and significant causes of this problem. Your research should provide data, which may include case histories, examples, statistical evidence, or authoritative quotations. Who is causing the suffering and why? Then I want you to think about who is benefiting from this problem, who's benefiting from the situation. And guys, there's always someone who's benefiting from a problem. For example, in my earlier lecture this week, I talked about rural communities not having access to internet. And the reality is the people who are benefiting from that problem are your internet companies. They're making big money where they can, and they're not considering people who are not in highly populated areas. What national or international policies contribute to the problem? Who is contributing indirectly to the problem? And again, your problem may not include national or international policies, but most anyone can find a contributor who is indirectly related to the problem. So, again, guys, I just want you to consider every single one of these sections. You're not necessarily going to be able to answer every single one of these questions, but they are guides to help you think about how to organize your paragraph. Then you're going to get to the effects of the problem. Again, these can be bullet points. I simply want to see you're gathering ideas. I want you to think about laws, regulations, and government programs that directly impact this issue. And that can be an effective evidence. I want you to think about the discussion of the effects that this problem has on society. Maybe it's just on your workforce, but again, that is a portion of society. Think about people, immediate and long term, the environment, the economy. And again, for whatever problem that you're solving, it may not hit all these things, but it will hit one. What are the short term and long term impacts? What does the future hold? And then you're going to move to the solution component. And I want to say for this problem, guys, these are guided questions, but they are not all the questions. If you have another component to your argument that will help you prove the problem, by all means, include it. This is a guide. And then when you think about your solutions, what logical solutions have been proposed in the past? How did those work out? And maybe, guys, your answer to that is nobody. Nobody has cared and nobody has tried a solution. Then come right out and say that. What are solutions proposed for the future? And then it would also be acceptable for you to make assumptions or offer an opinion or recommend a course of action in addition to what you've already found. You may analyze, evaluate, and explain the most favorable course of action. Guys, what this means is if you create something, also make sure that you use evidence. Okay. Just because you're creating a solution doesn't mean that there's not evidence out there to help support that solution. Don't shy away from critiquing a solution that's already been used. Maybe a law was almost passed, but it didn't pass. Well, then critique that law and say, hey, this is what they tried to do in the past, but this is what I'm going to do moving forward. Again, there's 1,000 ways you construct the solution. These are just guides. And then again, your conclusion, which we talked about earlier, and these can be bulleted points as well. What deductions can you draw from your research? Think about including your restatement of your problem and the benefits of the proposed solution, and then call your reader to action. What do you want your reader to do now that they know this information? Guys, if you have any questions about this outline, do not hesitate to reach out. Again, mostly what I'm looking for is bullet points to ensure that you're on the right track. This would also be a great time to start looking at the research you've gathered and really start seeing how your research fits in. And if it does, go ahead and write the author and title down so that when you go to write your paper, you can stay organized in your thought processes and your research navigation. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out.